Good morning, architecture students. This video is going to show you how to start designing a floor plan and using some of the tools, especially the modify tools. We didn't really go over that for each specific modify tool, only the draw tools. So here you'll get to learn several things at one time. Again, designing a floor plan and using modify tools, and then eventually some of these other tools as well. Okay, so you see I've got a couple of rectangles on here already. Those are the ones we did in class. All right, and I am going to start one to do now so that you can come back and watch this video if you need some refresher. All right, so if I have a client that wants a 1,700 square foot house, I need to find the square root of 1,700 so I'll know how big to draw my rectangle. Okay, I'll know how long I need to make each side. Okay, so what I want to do first is find my calculator, open it up, okay, and type in 1,700, and I'm going to do a square root of 1,700. That's going to give me the dimensions of a rectangle, or a square actually, in order to make this. Okay, click on the equal button after hitting the square root button, and we get 41.2310563. Now we don't have to be that specific with our dimensions. I'm going to round this up to 42. Okay, more is always better, at least in the architectural world anyway. But we're going to say that's 42. So what I would do is I would start by drawing a square that is 42 by 42. And that's going to get me in the neighborhood of what I want to do. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool right up here. And I'm going to click, if you look at the dynamic input, it says specify first corner point or. Okay, I'm going to draw it out. And I'm going to type 42 feet for this x-axis for the width. And I have to put that single quotation mark to mark it as feet. And then I'm going to hit the tab button to go up to the other box, the y-axis box, or the depth of the structure. And I'm going to type in 42 feet on that as well. Now, if you're not getting feet and inches on your dynamic input, then there's one thing that you need to do, and that is come over here to this right here to this little menu. Okay, it says customization. Click on that to get a menu, and then find the term units, which is right here. Once you find the term units, make sure you turn it on to where there's a check mark next to it. Then down here, you'll get units of measure. You're going to click on that. It'll probably say decimal right away. By default, it'll be in decimal mode. And then you're going to click on architectural to make it architectural notation. So that's going to be feet, inches, and fractional inches. Okay, so you see I have a check mark next to architectural. All right, so we're good to go there. Now the next thing I want to do is kind of look at this and decide, do I really want a square house, or do I want this house to be more rectangular? Of course, houses have different shapes. They have lots of various shapes. A lot of creativity goes into designing a house. But for starters, we want to start with something very easy. So we will go with probably a square or a rectangle. But let's make this one rather rectangular. Okay, so we're going to stretch this rectangle to the side, to the right, and I'm going to click on the rectangle, and you see how the whole rectangle is lit up. I want to use this middle grip. I'm going to click on that middle grip. I'm going to drag it in the direction that I want to stretch, and I'm going to type 10 feet because I'm going to add 10 feet to the width. Okay, now to keep me in perspective, I'm going to subtract 10 feet down here. So I'm going to click on this bottom grip on the bottom line, pull it up, and type 10 feet. So I'm pulling it up in the direction that I want the sizing to go. And I type 10 feet, and it subtracts 10 feet from that square. So now I have something more like a 32 by 52 rectangle. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an offset. Okay, so I have to kind of understand walls a little bit. And in this case, what we have to do is we have to add up all the different materials of a wall. And we'll go over wall structure in more detail later. But for now, Okay, if I add up all the materials for the wall, it's going to be 9.5 inches. That's how thick the exterior walls are going to be. So what I'm going to do is go to this tool right here, which is called the offset tool. I'm going to click on that, bring it into the screen, and then I'm going to type 9.5 inches. Okay, so that will, the computer or AutoCAD will read that as 9.5 inches. I'm going to hit the enter button to accept that. And then I'm going to click on my object, and then I'm going to pull it to the outside. Now, if you look, you can see I can pull my cursor either way. I can pull it to the inside, and it'll offset to the inside. Pull it to the outside, so it'll offset to the outside. Let's offset it to the outside. Okay, so there we go. I have my exterior walls, 9.5 inches. The next thing I'm going to do, is go up to my layers, my layer properties right up here. I'm going to click on this button right here called Layer Properties, and I'm going to create some layers because I need to set different things on different layers. Now, these first few layers, it's very important that you stay with the same colors that I'm using. All right, so I am going to come over here to the layer dialog. I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit, if it will. It doesn't seem to want to right now, but that's okay. All right, we'll just pull it down here. And if you look in the layer dialog, you'll see a button right here. If you hover over that button, it says new layer. Okay, and there's like a little spark, little yellow spark to the bottom right of that icon. Okay, and that is telling you you can make new layers. I'm going to click on this twice for now. I'm going to come back and do some more later. I'm going to click on layer 1 and double click so I can edit the name of the layer. I'm going to call this one EXT Walls, and that's for exterior walls. And I'm going to click on the color of the exterior walls, the little color swatch right here, and I'll get this color selection dialog. And I'm going to select red for those exterior walls. Click OK. I'm going to go to layer 2 and double click so I can edit the name. And I'm going to call this INT Walls. All right, and I'm going to click on its color swatch, and I'm going to choose green. Okay, it's very important, again, that you stay with these colors. Okay. All right, now I'm going to close the box because I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to take these exterior walls and put them on the exterior wall layer. So I'm going to select them, then I'm going to come up here to the layer drop down, or it just says a layer on it, but it's a drop down menu. I'm going to click over here toward the side with the arrow on it pointing down, and I'm going to click on exterior walls, and you see I changed the walls to the red layer, the exterior wall layer. Okay. All right, so after this we want to start making interior walls, and I will save that for the next video.